All right. So again, welcome everyone to the QSpace Q&A candidate forum tonight. Um, we have invited, we have had invited all of the candidates for the City Commission and for the school board. And a few candidates had accepted our invitation and are here tonight. We have shared some questions with them that were submitted throughout the week. And I've also put the Google link in the chat. So if you have more questions throughout, you can feel free to submit through there or submit through the chat. This isn't super formatted. So we're all on Zoom. We're all at home, most likely with our pets or our kids. So those things might come up as we go through tonight. But thanks for attending, everyone. And we'll kind of go through some of these questions, and you all can answer in whatever order you want to, whoever wants to go first as we go through these. But let's see here. So we have had some more questions submitted, which is great. So this first question is for, let's see here. Yeah, so this first question is for everyone on city who are running for city commission or for school board. So it is describe how you are an ally to the LGBTQ plus community and how that will translate into your work on either the commission or the board. And whoever would like to.
Just to be fair, maybe I propose that we go by alphabetically by first name and then we rotate. So Amber, Matt, Stu, Matt, Stu, Amber, Stu, Amber, Matt. Does that sound fair?
It sounds fair to me. Matt, if you can keep that straight and you just tell us who's up, that'd be great.
I suppose that's putting Amber on the spot. So if she's okay with going first, then that could be the fair rule going forward.
I'm okay with that, but because I haven't used Zoom in forever, now everybody is teeny tiny. Give me a second here. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Well, the simple answer for me is that I simply try to just treat everyone equally. I try to treat everyone as I would like to be treated, and that's as fairly as possible. So anytime anything comes up at all, I just think how I would like to be treated, and it's just like, as best as possible. I know that's kind of, I don't know, maybe a cop out, but that's just how I've always been and how I always will be. So that's the short answer, I guess.
All right, thanks, Amber.
Okay, I'm up. So I certainly believe that hello everyone. First off, my name is Matt O'Malley. I certainly believe that LGBTQ plus people in the community are role models for straight cis citizens. I can think of several that I really look up to. I think what I like the most is the example of we're not going to put up with that, because then that tells us that a group of people feels like they are being trampled on or overlooked. And if they are saying that, then other people, so like me, a straight white dude, needs to believe that and kind of roll with that. I also appreciate the monthly trainings that QSpace offers. I've only been able to attend one. It was a couple months ago, but I appreciated it. I learned a lot about gender identity and pronouns, gender grammar. There was a really good section on supporting LGBTQ plus children. I thought that was great. But at least from my health equity work, I've learned that it is not your community's responsibility to teach everyone. It's my responsibility to learn and to find ways to learn. And I just got lucky that Allie, I think, invited me to one of those, or I don't actually know how I ended up on it, but so that is my answer. There's certainly are role models.
Thanks, Matt.
Is it me, Matt? Am I next?
You're next, Stu.
Okay, great. All right. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Stu Heights, and I'm running for one of the 3 positions on the Pittsburgh City Commission. And like Matt, and I think probably the other 5 besides us, I'm sure we're all ready for November 3rd for this to all be behind us, win, lose, or draw. I know personally I'm ready to go pick up some signs and not have to see those all the time. So it's been an exciting opportunity for me, something to kind of step outside of my box, my routine as a career law enforcement officer. Many of you may know that. Currently the chief at Pitt State University. So to say that I'm an ally to the LGBTQ plus community, I think most that have known me know that I try my hardest to engage with all groups of students on campus. And I've had a chance to meet obviously Allie and work with her. I can't remember when it was you left, Allie, about the time I started, I think in 2018. I think Stephanie took over as a campus advocate when you were in that position. But so been exposed for really close working with the different student groups on campus as this topic pertains to. So, like I said, I try to make sure we're open as a police force on campus, that we're open and engaging with our students and faculty and staff. And I think I would bring that same, well, I know that I would bring that same openness and willingness to be fair and unbiased, just as I have my entire career. It's pretty obvious that, you find out pretty quick if someone has a history of being something other than that, as we do work in a very public setting, we're under the public scrutiny, as we should be, with everything that happens. So I do consider myself an ally to not only this community, but all people of our community and our country and world for that matter. But as it pertains to this particular forum, absolutely, I think I could be an ally if I am elected to the city commission.
All right, thanks all. This next question is just for city commission candidates. Unless Amber, you think it pertains to you, you can jump in as well. But what is your position regarding the updated city non-discrimination ordinance and the addition of protections for sexual orientation and gender identity? And I think, Matt, if we go in your order, are you next or Stu?
I don't know. I'll go. I don't mind. I mean, people would be, but who would be against that? It's common sense. Like, if there's all these other things that you're not allowed to discriminate against, like why wouldn't that be on there also? So I guess my position on it is, heck yeah. I mean, it's nice to be in a city where that's elevated. And if I remember right, it was unanimous approval. That's awesome. And so, because people support different city commission candidates for all sorts of different reasons, and to see those who they voted in, who represent them, to support it, that goes a long ways, because if they voted for that person, they probably respect and admire and in a sense follow that person. I think that there's obviously more that needs to be done, but just seeing that happen, I mean, there's a step in the right direction and makes me excited for what might come next. So there's my position on that.
Thanks, Matt. Stu?
Okay, yeah, no, I think, I've looked at the document and not being on the commission currently, I obviously wasn't part of all those conversations or whatever, but I know that and forgive me, the Human Relations Commission, is that the commission or the board that more or less was the driving force behind it. With regards to the document, to the ordinance, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think sometimes we can't take for granted. I think kind of what Matt was alluding to. I hope as a community would assume that that's what everybody wants. But I think the document itself, by spelling it out, I don't ever think that hurts to be reminded of that, and it raises awareness for the entire community, and it's right there in black and white, for all to see if there was ever an issue, and it's a benchmark, it's a place to start with the city government, and if it gives, it obviously outlines steps to take if there's a complaint or if there is an issue, and so certainly I think it's a step in the right direction, and I hope it's something that's never needed. But if we do have something like that, then it's there. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
Thanks, Stu. The next question is for school board. So Amber, what will you do as a school board member to protect LGBTQ plus students?
Sorry, had to find my unmute. Gosh, I apologize.
You're all good. You're all good.
It's been a while since I've had to use Zoom. Thank goodness, I guess. But I mean, really, whatever I could do as a single member of the school board, that's the only rub sometimes, is that I think on the commission there are 7 as well, aren't there? But 5. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. 5. So sometimes I get lucky, and most of the time though, honestly, right now, for the most part, from what I can tell, everyone is on the same page when it comes to taking care of all of our students, LGBTQ plus, and everybody across the board as best we can equally, and we all feel the same, so it's not been hard, but I mean, you never know what the future may hold, but I would, if it came down to that, I would probably contact the ones that were sticky and try to talk to them one-on-one, like either get together or email or whatever I had to do to try to open their minds a little more. But right now, thankfully, from what I can tell, the last 4 years, we're all on the same page about every single student, staff member, and family, which is really, really nice to see, because I know it's not always that way. But I would do whatever I possibly could as one of 7 to uphold and try to change anything that may arise. Is there any other follow-up questions or anything?
All right, we'll go to the next question then. This is for all candidates. So there is a question that came in that asked, like, why aren't there other candidates here? And like I mentioned at the very beginning, we did email and Facebook message and all ways we could find to contact different school board candidates and city commission candidates. Some didn't respond to us at all. Some responded that they couldn't make it. One school board candidate told us they would be out of the country. And then Dawn McNay was supposed to be here and she had a conflict last minute. And she actually submitted a video to us that will play that kind of answered some of the questions and stated some of her platform. So we'll share that as well. As far as the other candidates, we did not receive any responses from them, from messaging them, emailing them, and tagging them in different Facebook things, stuff like that. But if any of the other candidates want to answer that question, why don't you think there are other candidates here, you can feel free to do that as well. That's my answer as a coordinator of this event.
The only thing I would say, and I'll let Matt weigh in if he has anything else, but I know this last month, leading up to the election is somewhat hectic. It's certainly not something that's undoable. And let's face it, we're asking for people's votes. We want your vote on November 2nd. So we want to do everything we can to, oblige every request that we have. I am quite frightened that something will come up and I'm in the other candidate's position and they're not here and I can't speak to them of why they're not, whether I won't even assume why they're not, but I do know that it is a little bit of a daunting task to make sure that we don't miss anything, especially since we all have other schedules and things like that. So I would just use that as a blanket, not an excuse, but it is something that worries me. But I'm thrilled that I was invited and that you took the time to put this forum together and ask all the candidates. I think that's how you find out, because we know there's not time to meet one-on-one with everyone, and it is the fair thing to do, is to invite every candidate that's up for an election. So it's not fair to have a one-on-one or ask questions just to one candidate. So anyway, that's all I've got to say about that.
I imagine that I know who is out of the country, and if I'm correct, if I'm correct, he's all over the place. So that would not surprise me. But yeah, as far as the others that didn't respond, or I have no idea. I know that some of the others on the board with me are not quite as tech savvy, shall we say. So maybe that's I don't know, but yeah, I hesitate to give a reason, but I would imagine that the one that said they were out of country is probably out of country. He's everywhere.
So, I mean, I don't want to make assumptions either, but I'll just be real with you. We all set up emails to run a campaign. It's not like there's 10,000 messages. It's like Height for Pittsburgh at Gmail, O'Malley for Pittsburgh at Gmail, on and on and on. I would say it's safe to assume that they were seen. That we all knew about last week's Republican Women forum at the country club. We all knew about that one. We all knew about the chamber forum. I'm assuming that we will all be at Tuesday's Rotary Forum. I'm assuming that we will all be at the PAYP forum on the 26th. And so if this is the only one that's missed, was it missed? I mean, I'm not sure. I think that not being here is a choice. I mean, I frankly was a little intimidated to come on this call. It's just not stuff that I'm super versed in. I mean, I care a lot, but it's not stuff I'm super versed in. But I'm here, and like whatever you have to think about me, good or bad, or Stu, good or bad, or Amber, good or bad, we're here. We showed up. We caught the email in our brand new inbox. So now I'm just sort of rambling, but I think it kind of says something that it's just us. And Amber, myself, and Stu are here to listen and to talk to you about why we would like your votes. And I think that matters. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're glad that you are here. And we honestly had a few people comment a similar way when they sent us messages for the link to the Zoom tonight. They're like, well, it actually says a lot to me just seeing who's accepted your invitation. So thanks for accepting the invitation and being here tonight. So let me look here because there has been some more questions submitted tonight. Okay. So in regards to after we kind of discussed the non-discrimination ordinance and the Human Relations Commission a little bit, where for those who are running to be on city commission, where would you like to see the city's Human Relation Commission going forward or accomplish going forward?
Can I ask you a question, Ally, on that? Because I saw that you're on the committee. It just says you meet as needed. Is that correct?
We meet on a quarterly basis.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
And-
I misread that. I thought it said as needed. And I was going to say, I would think you should probably meet it. I think any commission should meet at least on a quarterly basis, just to keep things fresh and, make sure nothing's come up. So.
Sure. Yeah, we meet on a quarterly basis. And Amber Hames, who's on the call as well, she's the chair of that commission.
Guys,
But yes, we'd love to hear from both of you on where you think the commission should be going in the future and what we should accomplish.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to go first this time. I set up my own rule and I don't know what the rule is. So the HR Commission reviews discrimination complaints of any kind in an effort to solve them or refer them to the people who should solve them, whether that be authorities or Uncle Sam or whoever. So one thing that I think would be cool the next step in this. So for example, if you go to apply for a job with Kansas Appleseed, or if you go to apply for a job with certain churches or national crowdfunding campaigns or like really big nonprofits, one of the things that you see when you're applying for that job is we highly encourage members of communities of color or the LGBTQ plus community and so on to apply. And so it's a step beyond, we are an equal opportunity employer. It's sort of like an equity piece to it that, like, let's just go ahead and actually lift this up a little. We would really like for you to apply and be a part of our team. And so maybe that's like something that's next, is to actually encourage any minority population to apply, that they will be treated well. I actually couldn't think of what else might be next. I think it's probably the commission listening to what the HR Commission would like to see happen next. But that's what I could think of.
Thanks, Matt. Stu?
So I like the idea of a lot of volunteer commissions and boards, simply because I think it gives, for me as a candidate for city commission and a potential future, commissioner, I think I would rely, and I know the present commission relies heavily on subject matter experts from these boards, and I think they're appointed intentionally and on purpose. I think people are volunteer for things they're passionate about. So therefore, I would hope that they're the subject matter experts in whatever area it is. So I think it's great, and I would like to see with any kind of a commission like this or a board. I keep saying commission, but I think it is referred to as a Human Relations Commission, right? Yeah. So with that said, I just think that, I think the opportunity for, and I know that you do some already, you offer the trainings and, just having the conversation with, city employees or the community at large, having things. I know it's hard to get people, we all talk about having events and I see the struggles of all the, student groups and other community groups that try to come in and get in front of, a group of people. And it's hard, it's difficult to find times and schedules. But I think that would be something I would like if I were to be elected a city commissioner. I'd like to see more from the Human Relations Commission, as far as, public gatherings or trainings, commissions. I'm sorry, not commissions, but inform, just meet and greets, things like that, as a way to educate all of us.
Yeah. And I think Amber wanted to chime in here.
Yes, so I definitely appreciate both of your answers. That does help a lot. One of the things with the HRC is when we were reformed, we had a very specific goal in mind, and that was the non-discrimination movement. So when we were first formed, we had a lot of like, okay, we know exactly what we're doing. We have some force behind this. And then once that was achieved, we've kind of fizzled out. And one of the issues I'm seeing as the chair is there is a level of disagreement about what it is we're actually meant to do. So I definitely would like, if you guys are elected and, once everything's settled down a little bit, if we could have time to maybe all get together and discuss, what our goals are and what we see, the purpose of that commission being moving forward. And I just kind of wanted your input on that and how you felt about that.
Amber, what a great problem to have. A commission is formed for a specific goal and purpose, and you get that, and now you got the now what question. So that's a great success story. So I do think I think what I understand the question now more is it's a legitimate, you guys are all probably, well, what now? So I think that's a great problem to have though. So congratulations and kudos for getting that through, and especially unanimously. So that's awesome.
If that was a specific question, yes, I'll talk. Let's talk. We'll talk.
Yes, that was the question, is just if we could all facilitate a chance for, the HR commission to talk with the city commission, so we can maybe make some sort of like set goals for us to work on, so that, we have something to focus on again. So.
Yeah, Amber, I'm actually, sorry, feedback. I'm actually a bit in the dark on the relationship the commission has with the citizen advisory boards and committees. And so I don't want to misspeak. Like, I don't know, do they meet regularly? I don't know. Quarterly? Do they meet at all? Does that only come up when they come in front of the commission to make an ask? So you would think that they would need to get together regularly. There's a lot of citizen advisory committees, but I mean, make it happen.
Yeah, Matt, as far as I know, there isn't regular meetings between the advisory boards and the city commission unless there's, an ask or, we've that kind of thing. After we spent so much time well, once COVID hit, that's when we were supposed to go through and create the ordinance. So that took a while because of COVID. But and then we submitted that to the commission. And then since then, there hasn't been much conversation on that front.
Are all of them open to the public? Like I know like the ATAB is, yeah, right? That's like part
Yeah,
of
they
what
should
they
all be
are.
open to the public as far as when meetings are and everything, and posted on the city website.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. All right, so another question that was submitted tonight is, what steps have you taken to ensure queer people are considered in how you approach your position? Like every group, we have unique needs, such as protection from discrimination that factors into how we should be considered and treated by officials. So again, the question from this individual is, what steps have you taken to ensure that queer people are considered in how you approach your position? And so that question is for everyone. I don't know if we want to go back to Matt's rules that I'm confused by. Or if someone wants to volunteer to go first on that question.
If we go back, it would be Stu, Amber, Matt. Because I went first last time.
Man, I don't know. I feel like Matt's taking advantage of me. I feel like it was Stu, Amber, Matt last time, but no, I'll go ahead. So specifically, and I've said this, and for all of you saw it in the forum, I hope it came across. I specifically have said I don't have an agenda. So with regards to that question, I don't know that I can answer a specific. I don't have a specific. I haven't taken any steps towards any group. But what I have said and what I do believe in is I believe I'm being elected to represent 20,171 citizens of Pittsburgh, and that includes all citizens, no matter what your background is, no matter what your preferences of any part of your life are. I'm elected to represent everyone. So that is the blanket generic answer, but it's the truth. And I believe in addressing the concerns of all citizens. And I think all citizens should have a voice. And I know sometimes that's not the case. And sometimes people feel compartmentalized and not able to speak. But I hope that, if I'm elected, that people would recognize that I am open to conversations like what we're talking about. So I guess I can't give you a specific answer as far as what I've done for this or any other specific group. So, but that's my answer is that I would represent everyone.
All right, Amber.
I pretty much just have to mirror what Stu has said. I got on the school board simply because I thought there needed to be, and not that there isn't, not that there hasn't been, but just a regular now stay-at-home mom with a kid in the system. I have a kid in the youngest part of the system, and I don't really have an agenda. My thought was just to be on the school board to try to do what is best for every single student, staff member, family. I mean, the district encompasses so much. I mean, everything really. And I just wanted to make sure to try to do the best that I could for everybody in the district. And that just goes across the board. If there were any specific things that came up, I would fight like hell to do what's right and get what's best for LGBTQ plus or anybody else that had any issues. That's just the kind of person I am. I don't know. I don't want to blather on. I'll let Matt go.
Thanks, Amber.
Specifically, the question was, what steps have I taken to what?
Here, I'll repeat that. What
Thank
steps
you.
have you taken to ensure queer people are considered and how you approach your position?
I would hope that the work I've been doing the last decade has shown that I always look out for people who feel overlooked. I mean, there's been plenty of times that I've put my own foot down and stuck my own neck out to let people know, like, you know, don't say that to me, or that's not the way that I feel, or that's inappropriate. I don't know if I've made enemies doing that. I might have lost some friends. I don't know, or the other way around. I'm not sure. I'm trying to kind of like process the question, like, what steps have I taken? I know that I have privilege. I think that's probably a step. Like, I'm a straight cis white dude. Things have been relatively easy for me. Not always by any means, but I recognize that. And by recognizing that, I recognize that others don't have that just sort of privilege that I get to carry with me. And like other steps, like I love an LGBTQ person. My sister-in-law identifies as gay, and she just got married, and so now I don't know how to say it, sisters-in-laws, sister-in-laws. I have two now, and that's fantastic. And so whenever something comes up that relates to this, I think of Cassie and Becca and try my darndest to think of whoever is dealing with a bad situation that, well, that's my sister-in-law, or that's my wife's sister, and try and treat them as they were. I obviously would have more steps to take, attend more Q-Space trainings, intentionally invite more LGBTQ plus people to join the groups that I'm in, and make sure, like, to reach out to them and say we would like you in the group, like to actually make the effort. And I'm sure I'll think of some more things, but I feel like I've at least taken a few steps, and I've got more steps to take. And that's a great question, really.
Can I follow up? I'm sorry, I totally forgot that this last year, I mean, as a board, again, not just me, but we got a gender neutral restroom specifically put in the high school, just as a safe space. And like I said before, it was a unanimous thing. We were all like, absolutely, yes, let's do it. No questions asked. We just wanted to make sure to take care of everybody again, equally. And as Matt said too, I was thinking about it. My brain didn't process the question very well, so I apologize to the asker. But I too need to attend the meetings. Like, I feel a lot of times I feel like I know more than I do, and I still sometimes feel like I'm younger than I am. So I think I'm a little hipper than I actually probably am, to everything. So that is on my list to do as well, is to attend some of the trainings. Because yeah, I want to know more and know how to be better, and yeah, include everybody. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Thanks to both of you. And someone put in the chat that we do have a training coming up, and we do on November 17th from 6 to 8. And that's our quarterly virtual training that we do for It's a 101 training that everyone is welcome to attend. It's via Zoom and you can register. And feel free to reach out to us if you want that link and everything. Anyone here? I didn't want to forget Dawn's video she sent. So I'm going to do that next so that we don't forget that. So once I'm going to share my screen so I can share her video. It's just about 5 minutes. Can I share? Okay. And share sound. All right. Can everyone see that so far? Okay.
Hello. Thank you for letting me submit my thoughts and comments via video. I'm in Oklahoma City visiting my son, Alex. I'm Dawn McNay, currently running for re-election on Pittsburgh City Commission. A little bit about myself. My late husband and I, Chris, moved here in 1993 to be closer to family. Chris grew up here. I worked out at Mount Carmel, now Via Christi, for 18 years in non-clinical administrative roles. The last 10 years, I've worked at Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas. The last 19 months, through my role in community health, I've been working with our health partners in the 7 counties we serve to coordinate access to COVID testing and vaccine. And since some of the boosters looks like they're going to be approved, we'll probably be continuing that. I served on the USD 250 school board for 16 years, and just to kind of give you a little insight as to why I've spent so much of my time in elected position, when Alex was 4, getting ready to go to kindergarten as a 5-year-old, Pittsburgh schools were going through a tough time, and we had even thought about maybe enrolling him in a neighboring district. But I am I'm the daughter of teachers, and I knew whatever gaps in his education that Chris and I would be able to fill them. And that is not so for a lot of the kids in our community. And I just felt at that time that whatever skills and experience I had, I wanted to be at the table that was making policy and decisions so that all kids could have the experience that I knew my kids were going to have. And that also extends to why I ran for commission. This is an exciting time of growth for Pittsburgh, and all citizens should be able to feel the benefits of that growth. So answering the questions that I got, and I'm looking up at my computer, which is why you'll see me do that. The first question, what impact can LGBTQ plus leaders have on straight and cis citizens? I would say having more opportunities like for discussion like this. In answering these questions, I had to do a little self-reflection because I realized, other than Allie, I do not know who your role models and leaders are in your community. And as a commissioner, I should have some sense of who the leaders of the different communities are in Pittsburgh. I think also by showing straight and cis citizens that inclusion is not a finite number, that it's not a pie, and if I'm getting a bigger piece, you're getting a smaller piece. Through our policies and our practices that would include all citizens, we need to show that it doesn't diminish one group over another. And the second question was, how would I be an ally to your community? And again, I have to confess, when I was thinking about the answer to this, I had some really nice words, in engaging your community, in citizen-led leadership. And I realized that I had, and I have, the opportunity to do that through my work at Community Health. We have a Community Health Action Team, and we talk about engaging the Hispanic community and the Marshallese community, and no one, not even me, has ever talked about your community. So regardless if I'm reelected, in my other roles in the community, I will now advocate for representation by your community. And at some point, I'd love to come visit with you. The next question is related to the Human Relations Commission. You know, per our ordinance that was passed at the beginning of the year, the commission is supposed to meet quarterly. And I thought, I'm just going to go in on the website and see, as an outsider, what it says about our commission. And it would appear that the commission has not met since last November. And Allie's on that commission, and she can certainly speak to that. In addition, the commission is to be giving an annual report to the commissioners. And if you look at the functions of the commission, they are, you know, part of them is to bring diverse groups together, create education for understanding, basically what QSpace is doing for your community. So if in fact the commission hasn't met since last November, we have a lot of work to do to hold ourselves accountable, because the potential work of the Human Relations Commission is important, and it needs not just to be paper compliance, which I think has been in the past. I am proud of the work that everyone did on the non-discrimination ordinance that was passed this year. The inclusion of sexual orientation and gender identity was and is important. And selfishly, I was pleased that Pittsburgh did not experience the drama and opposition that some other communities faced. And a thank you to Allie and others who showed us what it should look like and shared their support and their stories during public comments. So thank you to QSpace for this opportunity. As I said, I've had some opportunities to do some self-reflection, and that's never a bad thing. And again, I'm sorry that I'm not live for your meeting. I would appreciate your support. Remember that you can submit an advanced ballot application, so you can vote early, not often, but early. And I hope you're having a great meeting, and I look forward to meeting you in person sometime. Thank you.
All right, I know that was a little quiet, so I will also I had my volume up as high as I could, but Donna was kind of a quiet speaker in that video. So I will also put the link to her video in the chat too. So if anyone wants to rewatch that, and then in the QSpace group as well. So so anyone can watch that going forward as well. All right, so I want to be what is the word I'm looking for here? I want to respect everyone's time tonight. I know, here we go. I know we're coming up on 8 o'clock, and I've told most people that this would take about an hour. And, you know, there were several different questions that we didn't get to tonight. But I do want to encourage everyone to continue reaching out to city commission candidates and school board candidates to ask your questions. I know at this point, I am not aware of any like more official school board forum, similar to like what the chamber did for the city commission. I have been asking, and I encourage you all to ask that happens so that we can have, you know, more conversations with our candidates and get more information. Yeah, I want to thank all the candidates for attending tonight. And I would just like to open it up so that you all can kind of, I guess, a closing statement or whatever else you didn't get to say tonight that you'd like everyone to know going forward. And then we'll close it out for tonight. I will say that Matt gets to go first.
I will put a couple ways for you to reach out to me in the chat. Links didn't show up. O'MalleyforPittsburgh@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/O'MalleyforPittsburgh. If you have questions that we didn't get to that you want an answer to, hit me up there. I think my closing statement is like vote in 2011, when Michael Gray got elected, he did win. I happened to knock on his door while campaigning. He won by 3 votes. He got the 3rd place commissioner spot by 3 votes. There's 7 people running. It is going to be very, very tight. The difference in 3rd and 4th place is going to be small. It just has to be. There are only like 2,000 people are even going to vote in this election. So please vote. I hope you learned things about Amber, myself, and Stu. We're here. I hope you learned some things about us. Tell 10 people to vote. Tell them to tell 10 people to vote. On and on and on. And reach out to the city commission candidates. I'm still struggling to try and learn from them just because the same types of forums aren't out there. So yeah, have a great evening, everyone. There's some ways to get a hold of me, and please, please vote. Thank you.
I would second Matt's plea for everyone to vote and to tell everyone that you know to vote, especially with it being an off year. Local stuff usually, I mean, more often than not, does not get the numbers that the big election years get. So yeah, that can make things even more close than they would be in the bigger years. I'm not a very good campaigner, if that's even a word. I was not prepared. I don't have a Facebook page, but I am on Facebook. If you want to check out, I mean, most of the time it's just things to do with my family and positive stuff because I try to keep it positive. But I will put my email in the chat. And if I can think of anything else or any other way that you can message me on Facebook as well, just under me. I never got around to making a campaign page. But yeah, vote, vote, vote. And if you have any other questions for me, I will do my best to answer them. I am still learning because I always love to learn, and you know, the world is ever changing. I know I don't know enough. And so I will be attending some of the training sessions, and I look forward to having my mind expanded. And thanks for doing this and having us. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. So, well, again, I'd like to thank you guys for inviting us to this. I do believe that from the city commission race anyway, I know a lot of people would like to see maybe some more dissension and arguing, but I think that speaks volumes to the candidates. And I think it speaks volumes to our community that we have 7 people running for 3 spots. I think if you look around a lot of surrounding communities all across the country as well, if there's 3 openings, you're lucky to have 3 people running. And I think that's a disservice to your community. So I do think that we have a unique opportunity here to have a lot of diverse backgrounds and different people, different opinions and lifestyles and professions. And that's good. I will say that, you know, I have the privilege of serving on the President Scott's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council that he formed, in the last year, maybe 18 months, maybe longer than that. Time goes pretty fast. And I learn every time from those things when we meet, and we haven't met a lot. COVID kind of messed that up, as it did a lot of things. But we did meet virtually, and every time we meet, I learn that there's a lot I don't know. But that's, you know, that's in any subject that we deal with as citizens. We can, you know, we never stop learning, no matter what the subject is, and whether it's this forum or any other community issues or human race issues. we all can learn, and we have an obligation to not just assume and not just take for granted that, well, that I don't know about that, or I don't know about that person, or that background, or so I don't, it doesn't affect me. Well, it does. We're all Pittsburgh citizens. We're all American citizens, and so we all have a right to and a responsibility as well to learn everything we can about each other. So that said, I again just would say thank you, and echo the other two candidates' positions as please do get out and vote. I do fear that it's it's not a national election. It's just a city school board election. So I do fear that it'll be a low voter turnout, and I don't know about Matt. I'm not a mathematician. I cannot possibly figure out what sort of a mathematical equation is what could happen between 7 people and splitting votes up and all kinds of things. So it's going to be interesting. But I think Pittsburgh's in good hands. I think Pittsburgh will be in good hands. And I thank you for the opportunity to do this, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you all for being here tonight and participating and answering questions tonight, and those of you who attended and watched and asked questions. So I would encourage you all to continue to learn more about the candidates and vote on Election Day, and reach out to those you have further questions for. And thanks again for being here. I will go ahead and stop the record.